Yes.
But it's always a good time, especially in the Big Easy, except for maybe tonight for TNA, where nothing's going to come easy because we got monster bouts, we got grudges, we got titles galore, and we're going to truly see whose will bends before us on behalf of their own party as we once again come together to predict TNA. This time for TNA, No Surrender, emanating from the Big Easy. Hello, everybody. Welcome once again to Simply Predicted. You know what this is. I'm the simple man of the simple brand, the voice of the JMM, forever great for professional wrestling. Damn it. And my name is Noel Foster. With me, as always, is a wonderful panel of fellow friends and analysts, of course. With me, I have Christopher Rotz, the man who inspires so many of us, including the other three here. Not on the marquee because I don't have that freaking thing. You need to get that to me. Jeff Mutter, freaking Meacham. I see the timer. And, of course, the guy that's going to be along for the ride for a little bit and definitely will give us some interesting takes. The Renegade Wrestling, JJ Williams. Gentlemen, good to see all of you as we're just mere hours away from TNA No Surrender, taking the airways. And for those that want to join in the fun, you could also, of course, watch it along with us. TNA No Surrender is available on TNA Plus, Impact Wrestling Ultimate Stars on YouTube, and Trailer TV. That includes the free countdown that starts tonight at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Shout out to those that are, of course, watching right now. Thank you so much. Please subscribe, comment, tell a friend. Be sure to get your predictions in. Link to the form is in the chat. And good luck to everybody that continues to be part of the league. And so far, Ashley and Joshy are holding it down. Jeff, good job, though, on the very first show on your kickoff. And Chris, yeah, you're in the middle of the pack. Before we get
I like where I am, too, considering that I did those predictions before I started watching.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm curious to see where I end up after today's call and everything.
Show 2 of the TNA League, and I'm all for it. That being said, let's go around and get everyone's initial thoughts before we get right into stuff. Chris, good to see you once again. How you feel about TNA No Surrender?
I'm feeling good. It should be a good show. I'm definitely looking forward on watching the countdown to No Surrender at 7:30 Eastern Time. So I'll give that a shot before I watch Friday Night SmackDown on Fox, before we go to Perth, Australia for Elimination Chamber tomorrow. It's going to be a good event. I'll give this an 8 out of 10. And good luck to everybody that is still a part of the No DQ Galaxy League for TNA. And always say yeah to NoDQ.com.
Also, you're wearing the yes shirt. Botch, but
not a botch. It hasn't bought the yes shirt yet. No, I'm giving your not watching our coverage of No Surrender a straight Bret Hart 4 out of 10. You're watching SmackDown instead of watching us.
He's only got one screen anyway.
Hey, I'll watch both of you guys.
Okay.
Okay,
fair enough.
And again, if you want to dictate the conversation, donate to Dictate Casting Studios. Super chat as simple as that. Anyway, Jeff, good to see you. How you feeling about TNA Surrender, my friend? How you feeling overall?
Always good to be seen. I did mention to both of you privately that I will be bowing out after saying this brief hello and doing the shameless shill because man's work is never done around here. We will be going live at 7 o'clock Eastern, 4 Pacific with our coverage of the watch along. So I got to get things ready, got to get things going. But I'm looking forward to this new era of TNA continuing. Whatever happens in the fallout of Scott D'Amore's departure, I know the roster will hold it down as they do. I'm looking forward to the match they added last night on Impact with our boy Frankie versus EY, and see where that path takes the coolest wrestler alive, at least for me. I'm looking forward to being a small part of a big deal when we get to have the call on this. So you guys enjoy the predictions. I will see you in just under a couple hours, and we'll be live and we'll do our thing. So good luck to everybody in the league, and good luck to everybody watching at home, and good luck and safe night to the roster of TNA Wrestling.
Safe night to anybody that dares to grace us with their gifted talents and presence in the four-sided squares ring. Ugh.
Yes, sir. You guys have a good prediction show, and we'll see you for the call at the 7 o'clock hour.
Sounds good.
Thanks,
Thank you
Jeff.
so much. Appreciate you, buddy.
Thank you, guys.
Jeff Meacham, everybody. Good old JM. JJ, always good to see you, my friend. Again, you've been exploring all the wrestling every day, every week, every show, every freaking company, it seems, for your love of the business and for the love of wrestling, which you all can catch, of course, at Cascading Studios every day. But it's good to see you here as we discuss TNA. Here's the TNA No Surrender. How you feel about tonight's show?
I'm looking forward to it. It's been well documented on my show that this is the first pay-per-view that I'm watching since I started watching TNA full time.
Right.
I've been paying attention to Impact. I've been paying attention to Explosion. So I'd like to think I've got a good idea of where stories are going to head. But there's also the huge elephant in the room of this being the first pay-per-view after the departure of Scott D'Amore.
Yeah.
So are plans going to take a left turn like this is NASCAR, or are plans going to continue on the straight and narrow that they were already on? That's the big thing that's going through my head right now.
Yeah. And according to what we are going to see tonight, everything could very well change.
Absolutely.
Well, again, there's a lot to discuss that you said that's going to go down tonight in the Big Easy, the hard way. And again, folks, your opinion is married too. Get your predictions in. You'll find the forum in the chat. You'll find the forum on my Twitter. You'll find the forum on the YouTube community tab here at my YouTube channel. You know what to do. So without further ado, everybody in the chat and panelists, let's get right into it. And shout out to the 22 that so far got your predictions in, including but not limited to my fellow horsemen, not only Chris, but Mark Griffith. Good to see you, brother. Jeff Chadwick, hope you're doing well. Walter of No DQ, Con Andrew, Joshy, Lex, my friends at ATW, Sienna Chanel, Bacon_Space, best name ever, Jerry Slaughterhouse there, and so many others, and my friend Paul, who probably will come over and enjoy the festivities. Let's go ahead and get right into it. As you alluded to, we'll start off with the countdown, Chris, as of course we have a couple of tag team, I'd say grudges, to ease us into tonight's festivities. We'll start off with this one that was first announced as, do you trust the system, or is the system about to face their time? As they take on the duo known as the Intergalactic Jet Setters, Kushida and Kevin Knight, take on the systems, Eddie Edwards and Brian Myers, with Felicia Edwards in the corner. As we saw last night on TNA Impact, it was Alicia Edwards that paid huge dividends that halted Kushida Knight's flight and his momentum and allowed Moose to spear him into oblivion, allowing the system to win last night's six-man main event tag. Also, Eddie Edwards and Brian Myers, they won for the first time ever together as a tag team at TNA Hard to Kill. And so far, the system seems to be working on, I would say, most cylinders. But Kushida and Kevin Knight are former IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Champions. So, Chris, what's your thoughts on this tag grudge match? Who you got winning?
Well, this tag match is going to be interesting because all four of these superstars are going to be serving in the main event picture tonight with Moose and Alex Shelley. So we have to worry about if this match is going to affect the main event tonight in any certain way. It should be a good, interesting match. On the forum, I got the system, Eddie Edwards and Brian Myers for the win. And I'm confident that they are going to win. And I see them moving into a tag team title picture down the road.
Okay, that's fair. JJ, so far, more people actually, along with Chris, do trust the system. 60 to 40%, including my TNA analyst. Shout out to Tatilla. Folks, get her to 1,000. She's so close. Seriously, the mission is almost accomplished. Go follow her today at Rangers of Wrestling. Hit the subscribe button if you want to hear her talk about NXT, including Roadblock. I'm just saying, his NXT, damn it. Anyway, JJ, what's your thoughts on this tag team match here? Do you think this could lead to possible future challengers towards the TNA Tag Team Championships?
Definitely could possibly lead to some contendership down the road. Supposedly, the world title match is not going to be the main event. The main event is going to be the X Division match. So I don't think this is going to affect the main event, so to speak, whatsoever, unless things get thrown in as far as Saban's concerned.
Right.
But I do not trust the system, but I do have to pick the system here. Because both me and Datilla have a theory about what's going to happen in the world title match. And I will get into that when we get there.
Fair enough. It's one of those things where right now I think the system has momentum on their side. It's all systems go. And Kevin Knight, to be technically fair, he's not even signed to Impact Wrestling. So it almost feels like New Japan Pro Wrestling guy eats the fall. Either way, I think this is going to be a very good tag match. And again, Kevin Knight, I think he's going to get the shine, but I fear a Boston Knee probably might hit in the Big Easy. And I'm going to go with you for now. I am going to trust the system. Gets the win here. I'm also going with the system. And if nothing else, this adds more momentum and favor into the cohesion and the effectiveness of the system when it comes to backing up their boy Moose in the match that you were talking about earlier. And Tatula here saying, it's not surprising Jay don't touch the system. He doesn't even believe in Joe Hendry. Ah! She said his name. She said his name.
We believe in Joe Hendry.
Do you believe? Damn it. Sorry, I had to do it. Oh my God, this guy's so damn brilliant. Anyway, let's go ahead and move on to our next countdown match. JJ, I'll let you kick things off with this. As we're going to see if the Rascals are knocked down into an avalanche of failure through a bout of fundamental respective principles of professional wrestling. As Speedball Mountain, the duo of Speedball Mike Bailey and Trent Seven looks to teach the Rascals a lesson. In what has been another bit of team warfare, we've seen the Rascals and Steve Macklin go after the wanted man, while Speedball Mike Bailey and Trent Seven have had enough of these three men's nonsense. As of right now, we know that Nick Nemeth probably won't be there, considering he just won the IWGP Global Heavyweight Championship against David Finlay. Spoiler alert, congratulations to him. And he will be involved also in Sapporo again, mere hours after TNA No Surrender. So don't think you get a jet fast enough. But we also know Steve Macklin right now, he'll go to the ends of the earth to make sure that Nick Nemeth's not the most wanted man. He's a forgotten man. But that's a whole different story. As far as this goes, we saw Trent Seven give us a great bout against Steve Macklin, but failed due to the Rascals' shenanigans. But we've also seen Speedball Mountain as a duo. They are undefeated. In fact, they beat the Rascals at Final Resolution. So this is a callback match. JJ, where do you stand in this?
I really like Speedball Mountain. I'm not sold on the Rascals. I don't know what it is. I was finally starting to get behind Trey Miguel as a solo, but the tag team of the Rascals, I'm just not getting behind. Something about him isn't clicking for me. But Trent Seven and Speedball Mike Bailey, you know, I said I championed for the better part of the end of last year that Speedball was TNA / Impact Wrestling's MVP of the year.
Yeah.
I see them getting the victory here.
Yeah, it's one of those things where, again, we're looking at the system getting the momentum, but I think right now we need something to counteract Macklin's mayhem and Rascal shenanigans. I think Speedball Mountain is the duo that can do it. Now, truth be told, Trent Seven's back got wrecked last night against Steve Macklin. But I think that Speedball Mike Bailey is going to be out here to prove a point. And to your point, if he's going to have a stronger year than even last year, he needs to start off with a win here. And I think Speedball Mountain, we talked about tag team championship challenges earlier. I think Speedball Mountain could be great challengers, beating the Rascals, who are former TNA tag team champions. So I'm going with Speedball Mountain too. Chris, where do you stand? Right now, more people are going with Speedball Mountain, 64% to 36%. Where do you stand in this?
Well, I'm going to tell you guys something. The last time these two teams took on each other was Final I'm going to say
Yep.
Resolution
There you go. Good
last December, and it was the final show under Impact Wrestling before it comes to TNA. That was the last time we saw these two teams, and Speedball Mountain got the win thanks to the ABC that night.
Correct.
And this is now TNA. These two teams are facing each other. I'm actually going to agree with you guys. I have Speedball Mountain winning this. I do think Mike Bailey is going to have a strong 2024 year. And also Trent Seven. I know Trent Seven tremendously because I saw him in NXT UK,
My NXT! Continue.
NXT, and he was great with Tyler Bata's Mustache Mountain. So I got to go with Speedball Mountain, and I think when we get closer, because we got Sacrifice to worry about, and we got Rebellion, I think it's going to be the System versus Speedball Mountain, maybe for a shot at the tag team titles in the coming weeks.
As long as they don't do a friggin' fatal four-way dance at the pay-per-view. I've had enough of that madness. What is it with TNA and your NXT doing fatal four-ways for the tag team championship? Seriously.
And I just sat here on the predictions for Elimination Chamber saying I wanted that at WrestleMania 40 this year.
Daggum. Daggum. All right. Well, let's go ahead and move into our actual show. And good grief, they gave us quite a card here. Let's go ahead and start off with some championship implications, as we'll talk about the true leading, always evolving division in women's wrestling. Damn it. And it starts with these two that are going to have a bash in the Big Easy. And there's no surprise factor here, but I'm looking forward to seeing how well they tear each other up. TNA Knockouts Tag Team Championships on the line as Decay, coming back from the Undead Realm and surprising the hell out of MK Ultra, taking the titles from them at Hard to Kill. MK Ultra, the former tag champs, the violent, lethal duo of Masha Slamovic and Killer Kelly. Since then, they've been trying to send a very personal, physical, mental message at the expense of Jody Fret and Danny Luna. But we've also seen Jody Fret and Danny Luna get the better of the former tag team champions, where you might want to consider them also in the picture. Now, I'll say it once, I'll say it again. I think we're just one more combustible element away from a Monsters Ball triple threat for the Knockouts Tag Team Championships. Now, whether or not it takes place like Sacrifice or Rebellion, I'll let you be the judge. But I'm looking forward to this freaking match. It's one of those things where, again, titles do not have to change hands to move something forward, okay? Champions can hold the titles via disqualification. Titles only change hands via pinfall or submission. With how angry, how vengeful, how violent, how spiteful that MK Ultra can be, I could see this getting way out of hand and thrown out completely. That means that Decay, regardless, would be retaining. And Decay just came back. I mean, don't get me wrong. MK Ultra were great tag team champions. They've been tag champs since last year's Slammiversary. But I think that Masha and Killer Kelly can do more in the hunt than being the hunted. It seems like they're certainly having more fun. So I'm actually going with Decay to retain. But it won't be easy. JJ, what do you think?
I pretty much echo every word that just came out of your mouth, bro. I see Decay getting the victory here, and then possibly getting Threat and Luna versus Decay at Sacrifice, and then getting to Rebellion with the match that you proposed.
Click.
Bigger stage in Las Vegas. Datilla will be there. Jeff will be there.
Lucky.
So, yeah. And still Decay.
All things false. Decay, Decay, Decay. And Chris, the majority are going with Decay, 82 to 18%. Where do you stand in this Knockouts tag team turmoil of a rematch?
Well, this was actually a rematch from Hard to Kill in a surprising tag team match. And when I saw that happen, I says, wait a minute, they just had an impromptu tag team title match at Hard to Kill. personally, I agree with you guys. I think Decay is going to retain their tag team titles. They just won it at Hard to Kill. And I just have a gut feeling that Marsha Slamovich and Killer Kelly, they might be booking them to go in their separate ways and go after singles gold in 2024.
I mean, that's a different take that I wasn't necessarily figured about. But yeah, I'll go ahead and plug it again as JJ and Dattilo will be at Rebellion. But let's get the Renegade to Rebellion. Hashtag Renegade to Rebellion. Y'all know what to do. Support this man. Support Kazini Studios. Give this man some love. Super chat, super sticker. And again, he'll tell you more about this. But I'm just going to put this here for a second. Let's get the man to Rebellion. Let's get the entire head founders of the WWE Multiverse Media, along with Dattilo, to Rebellion and see what they believe in the new era of TNA. I'm just saying. JJ, good luck, bro. All right, so far we're all unanimous here with this one, as Decay will run roughshod over MK Ultra, but it probably won't be as simple as a win. It's probably going to be complete, utter mayhem, and I'm all for it. I like violence. All right, good stuff. Let's go ahead and move on now to a match of championship implications that was just added last night. And yes, you're starting this one off, bro, because Frankie Kazarian, who says now he is truly about defining his own legacy, his own way, on his own terms, looks to go up against an OG, and you thought that these two are going to work cohesively in this new era of TNA. Nah, Eric Young. After the fallout between him and Eric Young, to listen to the grizzled young vets, and Kazarian showing his true colors after a fade to black. Basically, we have come to this point. What we thought was going to be a meeting in the ring yesterday turned into Eric Young conquering a ghost of his past. Then Eric Young, he threw out the challenge. Meet me in the ring, and let's sell this like men. Okay, but I'll do it on my terms. I guess Santino, the director of authority, decided to add to the stakes. As Eric Young, a former multiple-time TNA World Champion, goes one-on-one against Frankie Kazarian, who's never won the TNA World Championship and has only had one shot at it in his career. And the winner of this match will face off for that very title at Sacrifice in Windsor, Ontario, Canada, which of course will have implications when we talk about later. JJ, I don't have to say anything else. I know all about your connections, Jeff's connections with the particular individual on the right. And we've talked about this man verbatim since coming back to TNA a year ago at Hard to Kill. Boy, what a difference a year makes, though. What's your thoughts about this impromptu number one contenders match?
My answer is going to surprise people. I think EY is going to take this.
Oh.
Main reason is because I don't see Moose losing the title just yet.
Spoiler alert for prediction for later, folks.
If Frankie is going to get it, I think he needs to get it at a major TNA show. Slammiversary, something like that. So if he gets this victory, goes to Sacrifice in 2 weeks, he's going to job. I don't want that to happen. So because of that, I'm going to EY. And it sucks to bet against a buddy. It sucks to bet against a guy that we've had pop on to open mic night. But I'm looking at this long term. I do believe that when Frankie came back, a deal may have been made for him to eventually become champion.
Mm-hmm.
Problem is the man he made that deal with is gone.
Mm-hmm.
So there's another issue right there. But if they're going to give it to him, I see it at something more like Slammiversary.
Well, again, unlike other companies, this actually does have literally just a big four. We've only gone through one of the big four so far. To your point, next stop's Rebellion. After that will be Slammiversary. And then it all culminates at their biggest show of the year, Bound for Glory. So it's one of those things where you think about Bound for Glory was it? No, it was literally a year, 2 years ago. He can't. Yeah, it was Bound for Glory last year. He literally won the friggin' title against Speedball Mike Bailey, and then of course we saw what that led to. His only ever shot, and it was against Josh Alexander at Overdrive, and he failed. Eric Young, though, he's been champion, to my count, world champion at least 3 times. There was Super EY, there was World Class Maniac EY during the pandemic, and there was one other one I can't remember. Actually, it might have been 2. Someone can fact check that for me. But yeah, it feels like for me right now, these 2 OGs of TNA have a longer story to tell, and this is the first chapter where Eric Young, he's been to this dance before. Kazarian hasn't, and I think that probably still sticks in Kazarian's craw, if I'm being perfectly honest. And I could also see him costing EY, no matter who he's facing. I agree with you. I think EY is going to get it too, and so does the majority of the panelists here in the predictions pool. 72 to 27 or 28. Can't do math. No, I can't do math. Chris, what's your thoughts on this impromptu No One Contenders match?
Personally, what I saw highlights yesterday, just today, of that that last night, Frankie Kazarian, he brought an old mate back from TNA, and that was Big Damo, and I was like, oh my gosh, 2 former members of Sanity in WWE that collided. And personally, that group was possibly one of the best groups I've seen in NXT. No doubt in mind. As far as this match goes, yeah, I agree. I think Eric Young is going to win, get that title shot, and I could see that title shot happening at Sacrifice, and then after that, they could rekindle this feud with Frankie Kazarian and Eric Young at Rebellion.
All right. And also, Chris, relax, brother. Sit back, relax, sit up, man. All right, come on. We're alive here, pal. You don't have to be as like a days ago as Orange Cassidy in your chair, bro. All right.
You want me to go get my sunglasses and be Orange Cassidy for tonight?
I don't have any orange juice, and we're also on a time clock. I wouldn't do that. Just sit back and sit up and relax is all I'm saying here. Be comfortable. Plus, it's better for your back. Speaking from experience. All right. Well, that was pretty. I think that was a pretty fair analysis. And at the end of the day, it's one of those things that's like babyface versus newfound heelish attitude. It just seems kind of obvious, but there's more that can come from it, which is what I can appreciate. Because I do think Frank Kazarian deserves to be TNA World Champion. I just don't think it happens this soon. Does it happen this year? Possibly. It depends on the setup and who's on the other side of him, too. All right. Well, as far as which side are you leading on, can you kill what won't die? And is there a new unstoppable force in TNA after Khan officially killed the design? It's the Battle of the Monsters. It's PCO versus Khan. Straight up, folks, this is Rampage, and I'm not talking about AEW. These two are just going to bludgeon each other. It's your typical TNA big hoss fight. It's not Abyss versus freaking Raven or freaking what Dustin Rhodes once was that I don't talk about because that was just beyond weird. But as we saw lately, Khan says the sign is dead, and now Rose alone after cracking and snapping Diener's neck. Why PCO? He was not only the very first signing known to this new era TNA, he's the guy that just will not stay down no matter how many times you try and kill him. 1,000 Ways to Die on Spike TV apparently never cast this guy. Just saying. Chris, what's your thoughts on this battle of anomalies? Simply put, this is going to be pretty, but somebody has to go down for the 3, I'm guessing.
Hey, this is the battle of the monsters. So we got PCO and Khan. And personally, I know Khan because he was a part of the Ascension in WWE. So this personally, I don't know how excited I'm going to be for this match, to be honest. It's Battle of the Monsters. And personally, one of these monsters got to go down The other is going to continue being on a rise. And I know Khan said that design is dead. Personally, I don't think it's dead, to be honest. Who I have in this match is I got PCO winning this match.
Of course. Well, again, what beats PCO? Not even freaking lightning can keep this guy down. And if nothing else, it reanimates him back to life. But ironically enough, JJ, a majority are with Chris. 69, damn it, 69% picked PCO. Why'd you all vote that type of percentage? While the rest are going with Khan. So again, Khan, he was one of the most dominant tag teams in the original NXT history. They were the Ascension, the NXT Tag Team Champions. Since then, it's been nothing but muttering through the wasteland, quite particularly. It's King Kong versus Godzilla, basically, as Walter alluded to. If you all saw the movie, y'all saw who won. So, JJ, who's who and who you got winning here? And to Wesley's point, I think that's to come. Remember, this is the first time one-on-one encounter. I don't think it's a one-off.
Yeah, I like PCO. More often than not, I pick PCO. But this time I'm going with Khan. I think Khan needs it more than PCO does.
And I agree with you.
He just had his turn. The design was just killed and buried. And if Khan eats this L, then you've already stopped his momentum. Khan needs to take down the modern day Frankenstein. He can always be resurrected by a jolt from the electrodes to come back later.
And he will.
But Khan has to get the W here.
Yeah, it just feels like it's one of those things that just needs to happen. Simply put, folks. I mean, the only way that Khan doesn't win is if he tries to, what he's been doing on TNA Impact, try to incapacitate the man with nobody able to force him to break his hold. Gets disqualified, but at the end of the day, I didn't win, but who's left standing? Is Khan out here to get a win or make a statement? Or both? And that's the intriguing thing about this Monster Bash. And it won't be a graveyard smash, but it's going to be interesting to say the least. And Walter, you might be right. I have yet to see a kitchen sink, but I know there might be a door underneath that ring. Speaking of which, whoever thought you see this guy come through TNA's door? And I didn't even think about this when it came to when they last were before. A ghost of Josh Alexander's past and ultimately the one that defined the walking weapon to TNA Impact. Josh Alexander goes one-on-one against the Simon Gotch. And yes, I realize Simon Gotch and Matthew Rayboff both are in TNA. The Vaudevillains are back in full color. I kind of like that. So as we learned, and I didn't even think about this, Josh Alexander's last match before being officially signed by Scott D'Amore to Impact Wrestling at the time, now TNA Impact, was against Simon Gotch. And we've seen what the walking weapon, even though he's been involved in this business for 18 years prior, has done being part of TNA and making this his home. But Simon Gotch, he feels like that he's been literally the guy cast aside in the shadows, the cast off, quite literally, not called up for, the main attraction. And after all these years, after everything Josh has been through and went through, he returns to TNA to exact some revenge. A very unique happenstance, to say the least. But it also takes Josh Alexander in a different direction after that ridiculous war he won against Alex Hammerstone. As we saw Simon Gotch, we know that he could pull out a submission. He could be technical as Josh Alexander, and he's already made this very personal. But again, there's been a no physical contact clause since Simon Gotch arrived and assaulted him out of the crowd. Again, it's one of those things where Simon Gotch just came into TNA. You kind of feel like he needs to win here. But Josh Alexander, this is his home, and now he's been insulted. So it's one of those things, once again, where how do you bet against the walking weapon? JJ, let's start with you on this one. What's your thoughts on this unique exhibition? Does Josh Alexander continue to ride a wave of new momentum in the new era of TNA, or does Simon Gotch pull the hook right now on his run for now and maybe, find his own place?
Well, I kind of agree with your line of thinking here. With this being Gotch's debut match, do you really want him to eat the L already? Then you factor in the little parts of the fact that Josh Alexander is one of the people that's been very vocal on social media since D'Amore's departure. Will that reflect in this match? And him have to take an L kind of as a punishment? If he eats the L here, does that really do anything to stifle Alexander? I'd say no. He wasn't like the number one contender. We're not going to see him versus Moose next month. It doesn't really do anything for him. He's kind of just been hanging around. Whereas if you give Simon Gotch the L here, you've already stunted his growth. I'm going with Gotch here. And maybe even Matthew Reinhold will get involved.
I think Matthew Wayward has too much integrity since he's been such an incredible color play-by-play analyst for TNA. In fact, I argue to say that him and Tom Hanneken is my favorite two-person team right now in commentary, professional wrestling-wise, next to Ian Riccaboni and Caprice Coleman. But it's one of those things where I also think about this. There's been one other factor that really escalated this since the get-go. Alan Angels. Whether Alan Angels is out right now to go against Josh Alexander after Josh nearly broke his ankle, and after we saw what happened on Soundcheck episode 2, get a better set, by the way, dude. I think Alan Angels can also play a factor here. And Alan Angels and Simon Gotch, they might go on a 2-for-1 handicap trip to break the walking weapon and make TNA their own. Celestial must-see attraction. I'm not even sure what Simon Gotch's right now mission statement is besides beating Josh Alexander, maybe getting back all the years that he believes he deserved that Josh Alexander got. It's almost one of those things where it's like vengeance, self-redemption, vindication. I mean, we already saw Nick Nemeth vindicated, but that's a whole different form of the word. I think Simon Gotch is going to win this, but I think also Alan Angels is going to play influence here. Either way, I'm going with Simon Gotch because at the end of the day, all he's got to do is outsmart Josh Alexander. Doesn't have to out-wrestle him. And we all know how incredible Josh Alexander is in that ring. There's a reason why many people call him the modern-day Kurt Angle. But I'm going with Simon Gotch. And I'm in the minority, which don't surprise me. But sometimes TNA can surprise the hell out of you. That's one of the reasons why I love this company. 95% pick the walking weapon. And why would you bet against Josh Alexander? This is his home, damn it. But Chris, where do you stand?
Where I stand in this match is, I'm happy that we get to see Simon Gotch in wrestling again. With him and the Vaudevillains back in wrestling, that is interesting. Who would imagine seeing the Vaudevillains back in wrestling in 2024?
Right.
And this is Simon Gotch's first match back as like wrestling again. And personally, they've been telling a story with Simon Gotch ever since he's returned, since he showing up on TNA. But who I have in this match is going to be a good match. I have the walking weapon, Josh Alexander, for the win here. I think Josh is going to win. I know he's been vocal about Scott D'Amore's departure from TNA. And I kind of heard that he might have signed a new contract extension with TNA. So I think it's fitting that you give Josh Alexander the win. And maybe this could be the beginning of a feud with Josh Alexander and Simon Gotch.
Signed a contract, extended his terms, corporate, ... I'm just saying. Yes, JJ.
Didn't Simon Gotch have a match last night?
He did.
That's what I thought. Chris said this was his first match back. I could have sworn he had a match last night.
He did, Chris. Botch.
Sorry about that.
It's all right, bro. That's why we're here, and that's why I made this graphic. Plus, I'm a fan of Let's Make a Deal. Anyway, botch has got to be one of the best words in the professional wrestling industry. I'm just saying. Anyway, you do make a point though about the contract thing. Damn. Waltz is right. They might have put themselves in the corner. But again, it's also one of those things here where Gotch is out for redemption. Does he want to beat the man or does he want to break him? And Josh Alexander, if his emotions get the better of him, like I thought they were going to last night, then Josh might get himself disqualified. So again, this is one of those that could go either way and could surprise us. But I think more pressure is on Simon Gotch than Josh Alexander, if nothing else. All right. Well, we got down to the big four, in my opinion, so let's go ahead and get right into them. And since we know what I guess is going to be the main event, I'll leave it as such. But let's go ahead and talk proverbially about what we thought was going to be the main event, but definitely it's going to have implications because we'll know the next person to challenge for this championship. Prior to this, I'm certain. It would shock me if this was the opener. But here we go. In the first time ever, as TNA continues to be the alternative and bring you alternative ideas, it is Moose versus Alex Shelley 2, where Moose is the champion, Alex Shelley the challenger. But this match is under no surrender rules. Here's how this goes, folks. In each person's corner, as I believe it was JJ or Chris, I'm sorry I forgot, alluded to, each person will have corner men. In Moose's corner will be the system, Eddie Edwards and Brian Myers, along with Alicia Edwards. In Alex Shelley's corner will be Kushida and Kevin Knight. The only way for this match to end is if the party throws in the towel on your behalf and you lose. The two competitors can do whatever the hell they want to each other. There's no disqualification as far as what they do to each other goes. But if any party members get involved, then that party's leader loses. And for example, if the system gets physically involved with Alex Shelley, Moose will lose the championship. Under these type of stipulations, the towels can change hands. So why this is going to be a match of physical testing, as always with these two, it is literally a match of mental warfare. I cannot remember the last time outside of wrestling, whether you looked at like boxing or professional fighting, where a towel had so many implications. Now, truth be told, I remember in my NXT when Tyler Bate threw in the towel on Trent Seven's behalf and they lost the tag titles to the Undisputed Era. I remember when the towel was forcefully thrown falsely in a Heritage Cup match in NXT UK. But this is different. This is for the TNA World Championship. And we've seen the system and Alex Shelley and Time Machine in general feud with the system since TNA began. And who would have thought that Moose was going to beat Alex Shelley at TNA Hard to Kill? I did not see that coming. That being said, bottom line, do you trust the system? More importantly, does Moose trust his system? Well, this is going to be interesting because, again, the winner of this match will face either Eric Young or Kazarian. We all picked Eric Young, keep that in mind, at Sacrifice. So a lot of domino effect could come from here. Chris, I'm going to start with you this time. Who leaves the TNA World Champion? Which side forces the other to surrender?
Now, this is no surrender rule, so this is going to be like no pinfalls, no submission. It's just throwing in the towel, and that's it.
That's right.
Well, this is going to – I feel like this is the match I'm looking forward to the most tonight at No Surrender. It's going to be a fun match. I just have a gut feeling I know where they are heading into. And we know it's going to be the system in Moose's corner. We know Kushida and Kevin Knight's going to be in Alex Shelley's corner. Who I have in this match is I'm going to say Moose is going to retain. I have Moose retaining, and I don't think Kushida or Kevin Knight is going to throw in the towel.
Yeah.
I don't think one of them is going to throw in the towel because I have a gut feeling we're going to see the Motor City Machine Guns go their separate ways. I have a gut feeling that Chris Sabin, he is going to be defending his X Division championship against Mustafa Ali later in the night. I just have a gut feeling Chris Sabin might be the one to throw in the towel and let Moose retain, and that could be Chris Sabin turning on Alex Shelley, and you could start like a singles feud with Chris Sabin and Alex Shelley, maybe leading into Sacrifice, or you build it up to Rebellion. So I have Moose retaining his championship tonight.
Look, as much as I remember the whole paparazzi era and the fallout of Chris Sabin versus Alex Shelley, I don't know necessarily if I want to go back, but I also know how much Alex Shelley right now is a very combustible element waiting to explode. That being said, JJ, this is a very unique circumstance, one that I don't think you and I have dealt with in a long time in this business in general. So, what's your take on this? Again, what decides this here is mental warfare more than physical warfare.
I agree with Chris on most everything. Once again, I do not trust the system, but I do believe Moose will retain. I do believe there will be a heel turn, but it's going to be Kevin Knight.
Oh, no!
Turning heel. And maybe it's just because I'm still a rookie when it comes to watching TNA full time. But Kevin Knight feels like the piece of the puzzle that just doesn't fit. I'd never heard of this guy until a couple weeks ago when he had a match on television. But he's supposedly a longtime partner of Kushida. Kushida's been around for a minute. I've seen Kushida wrestle. I know Kushida by name from doing stuff with you.
Right.
You could put Kevin Knight in a lineup and I wouldn't be able to pick him out from Tom, Dick, and Harry prior to the last couple weeks build up to this match.
Okay.
And I think a heel turn will help him go to that next level where he will get noticed. Whether he enters into a feud with Shelley or he feuds with his former partner Kushida or he ends up going after Sabin if he still has the X Division title at the end of the evening.
Right.
I think there's a lot of evidence for Kevin Knight here. Kevin Knight is a star on the rise. This could be his history-making moment by turning.
So let me go ahead and just educate you a little bit on Kevin Knight, in case y'all don't know. Kevin Knight has been a longtime friend, student, tag team partner of Kushida. They are former IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Champions, being TJP and Francisco Akira last year, catch 2 and 2. Also, Kevin Knight, he has been making airways, quite literally, with his in-ring skill, agility, and heights he could fly. Eat your heart out, Montez Ford, including one-on-one against Moose. If y'all have not seen Moose versus Kevin Knight, it was a match on freaking television last year. Impact Wrestling was incredible. He is one of the most unique, high-flying athletes you will see in that ring. I can understand where you're coming from, but it's also one of those things where I feel like the system, maybe there's too many parts right now where it could collapse on itself. You add more to it. You got D'Angelo Williams, Eddie Edwards, Brian Myers, Alicia Edwards, and you got Moose. Now, truth be told, it was D'Angelo Williams with distraction that hard to kill, and D'Angelo Williams, by the way, has been not even heard, talked about, nor seen since then. So maybe that's just something to figure out too. That kind of helped Moose find the moment he needed to spear Alex Shelley. But a spear is not going to determine the winner here. Again, it's going to be forcing a party's will. Breaking not a man's will, but your friend's trust or your friend's will. And as far as I know, Moose has no friends. The system, they're doing things their way. And as long as they have the TNA World Championship, the system will work per se. But I don't think Moose can trust it because of the combusting egos within it, I feel like. Something's got to give here on some party's side. But I do think right now, just based on the fact that we did all go with Eric Young, and you look at the whole basic principle of wrestling, face versus heel dynamic, you kind of need a heel as champion. And I just don't see Alex Shelley going heel during this. If he loses, yeah, he might have a fallout, but that's if he loses. And while Alex Shelley was an incredible champion, I'm glad he finally got the moment last year. I think it is Moose's time, and I think Moose deserves it. But again, we also talk about the looming factor here in the TNA landscape. Scott D'Amore is no longer here. And Moose has said emphatically, Scott's not here, then Moose is not here. What if this is the way that Moose goes out? There's a lot of other factors here we aren't even thinking about, because at the end of the day, Anthem don't give a shit about TNA. Everyone here does, but they don't. And I don't want that to play a factor here. Personally, I want Moose to win, but I can't see Alex Shelley forcing the system's will. I can. But what's your thoughts, JJ?
We also have to keep in mind that Sacrifice is 2 weeks away.
Yes.
There's no reason Moose can't retain here and lose in 2 weeks at Sacrifice.
To Eric Young, potentially, or Kazarian, based on what happens at that other match, which is a fair analysis, too.
Or at the next Big Four, which is Rebellion in a little over 2 months in Vegas.
Yeah, in the Palms, once again.
And as far as, too many parts in the system, I never said Kevin Knight would join the system. I just said he would turn heel.
Oh, he would literally.
I think he'd go somewhere. No, I think he's going to go somewhere else, and I will get to that.
What are you thinking? All right, but
I've got a huge cauldron of chili that's bubbling right now. At least the way that I would be booking this.
Well, the beauty of TNA.
We'll get into it in a moment.
The beauty of TNA, the beauty of this company, multi-dimensional butterfly effect booking that doesn't piss you off and always leads to something else. Not one-dimensional. And a majority are going with Moose, 95%, and I am too. I just think right now with everything going on, the system continues to try and work, but I think it eventually collapses on itself. But I don't think it happens here tonight, no surrender. I think that Moose somehow will escape with the championship. Because Moose is a thinking man. He's got a lot of thinking men in his corner. I'm going with Moose as well. We're unanimous. All right. Again, a lot of interesting stuff that could happen here tonight. And Leslie, your guess is as good as mine, but we still have.
You're going to have to wait till we discuss the main event, good sir.
Yeah, fair enough. Well, we got 2 more matches prior to that, so let's go ahead and talk about tag team action too sweetly on this one, as we have a best-of-3 series coming to its conclusion. As the ABC once again goes one-on-one with GYV, the Grizzled Young Veterans taking on ABC. After the Grizzled Young Veterans were able to physically and psychologically outsmart ABC in the first bout, it was with one arm somehow. Ace Austin with a beautiful clutch pin tying the series. And here we are at the culmination. And let's be honest, we all knew it was going to get here. We just wasn't sure how it was going to get here. Now, you all know what I stand for. I talk about all the time Liverpool's #1, Zach Gibson, his partner, James Drake. Together, they have conquered all of Europe, and they came to TNA to win the tag team championships, to challenge themselves against the best. But are we soon to recognize them as TNA's #1 tag team and the new TNA tag team champions? This one, again, could truly go either way, and I'm torn. I want to see the Grizzly Vets win, but something tells me ABC, call it a comeback story, especially because Ace Austin's now coming in here 100%. I think the ABC will somehow outwit the GYV once again. And this has been a fun series. Was it as great as Beer Money versus Motion Machine Guns? That was 5 matches, so, apples to oranges. By the way, Bobby Roode, congrats on your retirement as a producer. But I'm going to say, begrudgingly, the tag champs retain. Damn it. JJ, where do you stand in this? Doggone it. Grit your teeth.
Well, everybody knows that I used to do movie reviews.
Yes.
In addition to being a guy who loves movies, I'm also a very, very much a music guy. All genres of music.
Yes.
Ludacris, in his song Southern Hospitality, told us to throw them bows. Busta Rhymes taught us to break your neck. Grit your teeth, Noah. The Grizzled Young Veterans are taking the titles.
Wow.
Because they're coming in here representing my NXT, damn it.
But Hey, no, they
used to. It was a shitty gimmick, I will give you, and I like them more than I did then. But I have a connection to them because they were a part of my NXT. And
wow.
I want them to pick up the W here.
Good
ABC is going to go down like 1, 2, 3. It's as simple as do re mi.
Well, shut me up. All right. ABC right now, majority of the poll though at 59%, while basically about 40% though pick the grizzled young veterans. It's one of those things though where again, I just don't know which way the grizzled young veterans go from here. And there's so many other tag teams they can face. And thinking about tag teams from earlier, there's the System, there's Speedball Mountain, there's the Rascals. There's some depth to this tag team division. So it's one of those things where either team has challenges that could wait for them. But I just don't know right now I don't know what the future of TNA holds. And it just seems like one of those things that the Grizzled Young Veterans have only been involved right now in this, nothing else. Nothing else has really been like set up or teased. But right now I am torn. But yeah, of all the freaking supporting factors. Also, again, folks, former inaugural NXT UK Tag Team Champions. Conquer wherever they've gone, but the ABC, they're out to prove a point. Maybe this generation's MCMG in building. After all, they beat them last year. Chris,
and correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm still getting used to them in this format. Drake is the long-haired, Gibson's the bald one.
Yes, correct.
I prefer Drake to Gibson personally. There was something about Gibson in the NXT presentation that always freaked me out. I think it was the contacts they had him wear. But I like him more here, but I've always been solid behind Drake.
Well, again, Drake's one of those, though, that is a little different than Zach Gibson. I think James Drake is more of the wildcat in this duo, in my opinion, based on his style and his forward aggressive nature. By Zach Gibson, he's more the calculated thinker and I think technical strategist. And I've seen it firsthand, especially when he applies Shingle to Gates that nearly took Ace Austin's arm out of its socket. That being said, Chris, where do you stand in this series finale? Do you go with the ABC or are you giving it to the GYV? We're 1-1. How fitting.
Well, personally, when it comes to like these best of 3s, best of 5s, best of 7 series matches, we know it's not going to be like a clean sweep. We definitely know that. That's the foregone conclusion, and we all know that.
It's not wrong, to be fair.
I went on Bet Online where they have like the betting odds. They have Grizzled Young Veterans as the betting odds favorite to become the new tag team championships here tonight. But I just don't know if Grizzled Young Veterans, I just don't know where do they go if they win the tag team championships. Where are they going to be recognized as Liverpool's #1 tag team in all of professional wrestling?
Damn it.
I just don't know where they go from here if they win the belts. Okay, what's next? Who's going to be taking them on? I just feel like the baby faces, this is a comeback story that needs to be complete and also finished. So I have a gut feeling I'm going for the ABC to retain the tag team championships, and we could see future bouts with the System and the Rascals down the road for the tag team champions, possibly at Sacrifice or Rebellion. I see ABC retaining the tag team championships tonight.
I mean, I'm not going to lie. Speedball Mountain versus Grizzled Young Veterans really is pleasing my palate. And that's the #1 reason why I'm thinking about going with. Damn it! Oh, man, this match is going to hurt me. I already know it's going to hurt my predictions, but I don't care. I don't give a F if I'm wrong sometimes. I just love TNA. But yeah, I stand by it. All right.
I think we all do, Noah.
Damn right. 2 for ABC, 1 for GYV, but this is Tag Team Professional Wrestling for realistic, beautiful-looking Tag Team Championships. I said what I said, damn it. And I don't digress. Getting better at that. All right. Let's go ahead and move on to our second to last match, as we'll see if the spotlight is finally on the quintessential diva to finally lead the Knockouts division, or does the Juggernaut continue to be the unstoppable force that makes history? It's Jordynne Grace versus Giselle Shaw for the Knockouts World Championship. Jordynne Grace, who won the title at TNA Hard to Kill, while Giselle Shaw won the second ever Knockouts Ultimate X. And Gail Kim has definitely put more of a fire underneath her ass, influencing her to the point now she fired the shot to Raj and is planning to do things all on her own. Even though Gail Kim, wise beyond her years, happy belated birthday, by the way, gave her some sound advice and how you approach this from a business standpoint. But she's saying, screw that, I'm going to do things my way. So again, we said it for the longest time. Giselle Shaw, she's a future Knockouts World Champion. She's challenged previous Knockouts World Champions for the title and failed. She's also called herself the Black Widow of TNA. Tara, hello. And basically works with nobody. Now she literally works with nobody. But every time that she's been able to get the better of the champ, she has, by knocking her out with that X. I don't think that X is going to come into play, but there's a very real chance that Jordynne Grace could have her lights taken out if that knee strike hits. But again, Jordynne Grace just won the title at Hard to Kill. She just appeared in the Women's World Rumble. That was a what the fuck moment, an incredible run. And right now, I think more history awaits for not only the Knockouts division, but her leading it is what I'm thinking. But let's go ahead and see what y'all are thinking. And Chris, I'll start with you. Does the Knockouts division become quintessential? Or does the Juggernaut continue to rule it with, well, basically what she brings, all muscle?
Well, I'm going to tell you, we got to give a round of applause to Jordynne Grace's performance at the Women's Royal Rumble match. That was unbelievable. When I heard the sirens, and I just says, wait a minute, is this Ivory? Because Ivory used to have the sirens song, and I said, oh my gosh, that's not Ivory, that is Jordynne Grace. And Jordynne Grace, she shocked the whole world at the Royal Rumble. And personally, I don't think that's the last time we see Jordynne Grace in WWE. I just have a gut feeling once Jordynne Grace gets done with TNA, I feel she's going to be in WWE down the road. And I have a lot of dream matches for Jordynne Grace in WWE. But as far as this match goes, I wouldn't be supposed for Giselle Shaw to win the championship, but it's not her time just yet. I think Jordynne Grace is going to retain the Knockouts championship, and she's going to possibly move into a feud with Killer Kelly or Masha Slamovich. And hey, I wouldn't be surprised at Sacrifice if we get to one of those facing Jordynne Grace. I could see them making it maybe a triple threat, maybe a 2-on-1 handicap match, or one of them facing Jordynne in a singles match for the Knockouts championship.
Fair, but also Giselle Shaw will eat crow then, not heeding Gail Kim's advice, but also might piss her off more to the point this gets run back. Let's not forget what happened against Masha Slamovich. Not only did she break her streak, they ran it back in overdrive in last knockout standing. And Masha was 1 second away from beating Jordynne Grace for the title. She hasn't been the same since. That being said, a majority they are going with Jordynne Grace, 91%. So right now, it just feels like Giselle Shaw, this is just a new approach to her journey towards the top. Now she's once again on her own, maybe has renewed confidence, even if she doesn't want to admit it, enforced by Gail Kim. But I don't think she gets it done this soon. I think she goes back to the drawing board. And with the newest face of the Knockouts on the approach now, maybe she tries to throw her, name in the fire at some point. Or George Iceman, her concierge, talks about how great she is. I know that you got a lot to say about that. But Also, Tasha Steele, she's another one to think about. I know Tasha and Zaya are going to finish out the rubber during Bayou Blast. There's a lot of different dynamics, again, in the knockouts that not only could face Jordan Grace for the title, but Michelle Shaw, she might look to make an example out of if she loses here. So where do you stand in this Knockouts World Championship match?
Well, first of all, don't get me started on Timeless Dana Brooke looking like she went to a Timeless Tony Storm estate sale to buy her outfit from last night.
Damn!
Don't even get me started there.
All right.
They are not going to take the title off of the person who is bringing the company the most publicity right now that isn't named Scott D'Amore.
Yeah.
With her appearance in the Rumble, with all the interviews that came as a result of it, with her name going around the IWC a little bit heavier than it was a month and a half ago. Jordan Grace is going to keep the title here. Giselle Shaw is going to fall. Is there any reason why Gail Kim can't wrestle? Because with the advice that Gail has been giving Giselle and Giselle not taking it, I could see a Gail-Giselle match unless Gail is injured and just has one of those injuries where she can't wrestle again. But if she's physically 100% healthy and can do it, just is choosing not to do it, I could see this between her and Giselle leading to a match, maybe at Rebellion.
I like the sound of that. I'm not going to lie. It is in Canada, Gail Kim's home turf. I mean, it's not too far-fetched. We saw what happened on Impact 1000. Girl can go. Girl does not age either. Good grief almighty. So, yeah, that's fair. And again, it was Diana Purrazzo that raised the ire of Gail Kim, and she paid for it, even though we never got the one-on-one match. Damn it. Although I'm very happy to see what's happening with Diana. I know we'll talk about that Revolution, my most anticipated match of the night, I'm saying. But anyway, yeah, it's just crazy right now how much momentum you have with Jordan Grace in general. It's hard to bet against her. But I think Giselle Shaw has that potential where she can lead the division. I just don't think right now, even with Ultimate X, it's her time. And truth be told, it's the second ever Knockouts Ultimate X. Tasha Steele's challenge for the title and lost the first go around. She got a rematch later on, and she won it. Giselle Shaw can literally do the same thing against Jordan Grace. So, yeah, I think it's pretty unanimous here. We got to go with the Juggernaut for now, retaining the title. But it won't be the last time you see Giselle Shaw in this spotlight. I'm just saying. All right. Well, we talked a lot, guys, but let's go ahead and get to what apparently is going to be the main event for Is Change on the Horizon. For in a world where so much of the same thing is repeated, we need people to step up. We need new leaders. So I ask you, my fellow panelists and friends here at City Predicting, do you trust in Ali or do you hail Sabin as the X Division Championship is on the line as Chris Sabin, the 10-time X Division champion, defends the gold, making its TNA debut, Mustafa Ali. Simply put, this guy, free from WWE, basically has been on a worldwide campaign to remind us right now that we need change. We need leadership, and he's the one to do it. He's been involved in insert promotion here. In fact, he's going to be involved in New Japan Pro Wrestling in Chicago. But Mustafa Ali right now, a former WWE Cruiserweight champion, is now taking on arguably the most influential individual in X Division history, Chris Sabin. And this influence of Mustafa Ali's political propaganda has definitely gotten under the champion's skin, to the point he's made an example out to good hands that have been campaigning for the challenger. And with that, I'm not saying anything else. JJ, go ahead and don't burn it, but feel free to if you wish. If this truly is the main event, how do we usher in the future of Mustafa Ali in TNA, and for that matter, the future of the TNA X Division Championship? What the hell's going to happen here at No Surrender?
Well, as you know, I do not believe in Joe Hendry.
Blasphemy!
As you also know, I do not trust the system.
Right.
However, in Ali, I trust.
All right. Simply put, he's not going to say
In
anything.
Ali, I trust. I definitely see the good hands forming a union with him because every good political figure needs some good hands to do their dirty work.
Oh, I see what you did there.
And this is where Kevin Knight comes into play. I think Kevin Knight helps Saban lose also
Whoa.
and aligns himself with Ali. Basically forming a stable akin to the cabinet.
Oh no.
But
Oh
we got to come
no.
up with some cool political name for it.
Oh, good grief. What the world are you trying to do here?
I'm just saying, think about it. Mustafa Ali, we all can acknowledge and admit that even though it happened during my hiatus, the retribution killed Ali.
Simple as that.
Even his time in my NXT towards his end couldn't really get him rejuvenated the way it has Baron Corbin, Dijak, Ridge Holland, Becky Lynch, etc.
I'll give you that.
Like it was going to do Shotzi before, she tore her ACL in her first match down there, is going to be gone for 9 months. Get well soon, Shotzi.
To anybody with a leg injury, because that just seems to be the injury going on anymore, from Kylan King to Master Watto. Dadgum, people, take care of yourselves. Get well soon. Continue.
I think this is the jumpstart to the rejuvenation of what Ali could have been if WWE trusted in Ali. And like I said, whether the Kevin Knight thing comes to fruition or not, I feel is irrelevant. But every good politician needs a couple of good hands. So at the very least, you've got a ready-made trio there.
Okay. Again, Ali, he's on a worldwide escapade. He's taken on Hiromu Takahashi at Windy City Riot in Chicago. So, I mean, wherever Ali's gone, I think people have trusted in him to give you one hell of a performance, leading by example. Good grief, what's going on with these world trenders right now? Will Ospreay, Nick Nemeth, Mustafa Ali. What's happening here? I love it, but it's crazy. It's crazy, though, also the fact that Chris Sabin has now been the face of the X Division, one of the most influential figures of the X Division the last 20 years. When you think about this, literally started off with AJ Styles, the very first champion. And yes, he's a record 10-time champion, but some of his runs have gone a few Ds and 0 Ds. Let's not forget what happened with him and Leo Rush, though he won it back at Impact 1000. Since then, he's been unbeaten, technically, since holding the X Division championship, including overcoming Kenta. But Mustafa Ali right now has definitely gotten under Sabin's skin, and rattling Sabin's mentality might just be enough for Ali to be trusted enough to beat Chris Sabin if that's what the people want. Again, you trust in Ali. Does the TNA faithful trust in Ali? A majority of the poll trust in Ali, but barely. Chris, do you trust in Ali?
Well, this is going to be a match that everybody's going to talk about. Chris Sabin, a 10-time champion. Mustafa Ali is making his TNA debut. I know they are been adding on dates for television tapings for Mustafa Ali, and I heard that this weekend is going to be a big weekend for Mustafa Ali because he's going to be competing against Speedball Mike Bailey this weekend at another wrestling event. So and also he's be competing tonight for the X Division Championship.
There you go.
This is a match that's going to be talked about for a long time. And I'm going to tell you guys this. I have trust in Mustafa Ali. I am going for Mustafa Ali to become the new X Division Championship tonight because this is his time. This is his time to shine. This is his time to be in that spotlight. Finally capturing a champion. Finally finishing his story on the right path and finally becoming champion. And personally, I feel Mustafa Ali, he should have been champion in WWE. But no, they fumbled it.
Not the
And
first one, I'll tell you
personally,
that much.
Mustafa Ali, this is his time to be champion. I could see this being like a 2-month reign, but I see it being longer. I think Mustafa Ali is going to be a long X Division championship. And if I have to pick a person that I could see maybe dethroning Mustafa Ali for that X Division champion, it might be Jake something.
Oh, I like that actually, because that would be something. But in the meantime, my fellow Americans, my fellow TNA representatives. All right, so yeah, I think for Mustafa Ali, it's like I said, TNA is where you find yourself. TNA is the alternative to your career. It is a jump start. It is a reboot. Taking it in technical terms, you think about the LED and the freaking, backstage, like, GYV cameraman. Either way, I think for Mustafa Ali, this is the launching pad towards his global campaign in Trust in Ali. Imagine if he takes this X Division Championship, defends it in New Japan Pro Wrestling, presents it at Prestige or something like that. You talk about exposure earlier as far as public figures goes and as far as well-known. Mustafa Ali, X Division Champion, that brings more eyes to TNA. Nick Nemeth now a champion in New Japan Pro Wrestling with the Global Heavyweight Championship. It just feels like these international dynamics and interpromotional showcase scenes only benefit TNA more. I think, and again, Chris Sabin, he's a journeyman, but he's also a guy that if you're going to take the crown from him, you gotta fight me, not a debate. You gotta prove that you want this more than me, that you can get it done in the ring. Show me what you got, bitch. His words. So yeah, I think Mustafa Ali is going to show Chris Sabin exactly who he is. And I trust in Ali winning too. I'm actually going with you guys here. I think Ali becomes the new X Division champion. But this is the main event. Something else had to happen here. So who shows up? What gets teased? Does somebody new show up maybe here? Or, hey, I think about Jordan Grace. How about Camille actually signed the TNA? I mean, she did say she made her decision on her Q&A, but her phone gave out. Damn it. I hate when that happens. So is a new knockout on the rise? Is somebody else going to confront Ali or Sabin? Does Sabin's future change as we know it? Is the Motor Machine Guns finally lose all the ammo in their arsenal? It's a very unique suspension of disbelief that could come out of No Surrender to shape the future going forward for TNA. If nothing else, you trust in Ali and leading the X Division, but I don't know if you can trust anything else fully at this point in TNA. It's all up in the air. But yeah, I'm going with Mustafa Ali as well. And this is going to be one hell of a match. In Ali, we trust. And by the way, I'm individual. I am not a party candidate, just saying. But this campaign idea, I've loved these vignettes. Surprised the match last night wasn't brought to us by In Ali We Trust. I was a little disappointed in that. But that being said, no one thing for sure, I am not going to be disappointed in tonight's show where the outcomes are so polarizing that I don't know what the future holds, and that's not a bad thing. So with that being said, folks, do you trust in Ali? Do you believe the Juggernaut once again continues to make history? Who survives the Battle of the Monsters? Do you see any titles changing hands? Do you see somebody showing up who truly surrenders everything? We'll find out soon enough, but thank you all for tuning in. Before we conclude and be able to find out, let's go around and plug our stuff too. Chris, always a pleasure. Good luck to you. Again, folks, you still have about, you know what, I'll boost it. I'll give you until 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to make your predictions final. Form again is in the chat. It's also on my YouTube channel, also on my Twitter. And of course, we'll be here giving our play-to-play coverage to a live watching event here starting at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with further talk, hype up, preview, discuss, and get ready for the countdown. But Chris, I know you got a busy night ahead of you as always. You look at all the fans wrestling too, and I respect that. But where can people connect and find you?
Well, it's always a pleasure being on Simply Predicting. I enjoy being with you guys tonight. Where everybody that could find me at is on my X account, CROTZ24. My Instagram, CMROTZ_6472. My Facebook is Christopher Rods. Those are my social media accounts where you can all find me at, and I could talk to you guys about wrestling, sports, movies, TV shows, gaming, sporting events, whatever. I'm positive all the time. Just always hit me up. I'm down making friends. We got through this month in the month of February, and now we head towards March.
Lord help.
And personally, March is going to be around the corner because the next time you'll be getting us on Simply Predicting, it is going to be next week where we will be predicting AEW Revolution, and that is going to be Sting's final match in his professional wrestling career. And then we got Sacrifice to worry about for TNA. And then after that, downhill, we're on the fast approach on the road to WrestleMania. So personally, I had an amazing time here tonight. I hope you guys all enjoy TNA No Surrender tonight, and also the Elimination Chamber tomorrow from Perth, Australia. Enjoy your night, and always say yeah to NoDQ.com.
And that's not an insult. That's just a fact of life. Enjoy your evening, Chris. Enjoy the show tonight. Yeah. Appreciate you, brother. We'll see you next time. All right. Well, again, folks, thank you for tuning in. Just want to give a shout out to some of the comments here for the forum real quick. I don't think any championships are changing. PS, hashtag we want Scott, we want Demore. I can respect that. Go ABC, where's Swinger? Will you all stop talking about Johnny Swinger? Dadgummit! Feeling bad for Shaw. Can't wait. Why do people still care about Johnny Swinger? Why are we still trying to get Johnny Swinger booked? Why do people still want to see Johnny Swinger wrestle? Seriously.
Johnny Swinger is awesome.
Johnny Swinger is ridiculous. Anyway.
Johnny Swinger is greater than Joe Hendry.
Okay, now you wrong.
For
that.
God.
You wrong for that, bro. You wrong. I don't give a damn what anyone says. You wrong. Anyway.
It is my opinion, and I am allowed to have it.
I am the simple man, and I approve this message. That being said, always appreciate you, JJ. Again, we're going to talk a little bit about this here shortly, but go ahead and let's play and promote some stuff you have been doing, you're about to do, and where people can connect and find you.
Well, you can find me on Instagram, the Renegade JJ Williams, on Twitter, ROWJJ Williams, on YouTube, Casa D18 Studios. Thank you to the people that are watching right now. However many of you are watching on my channel, I greatly appreciate it. You can always subscribe to the members only section. It's only $5 a month. I realize content has been kind of lagging there in the members only section, but me and Noah have got quite a few things that we're looking to do for this year. You're not going to want to miss out on any of it. Make sure, of course, you tune in to For the Love of Wrestling every Monday through Friday, currently 9 a.m. Pacific, noon Eastern. Will I continue covering TNA after tonight? You will have to tune in to Open Mic Night tomorrow to find out. Oh. Speaking of Open Mic Night, 8 o'clock p.m. Pacific, 11 o'clock Eastern, we're going to be playing a little game on the panel called Push, Bench, or Repackage with the panelists, in addition to talking about a couple of topics for the week. What we're going to do is pop up a picture of a wrestler, and the panel will discuss and give their thoughts on whether that wrestler should be pushed, whether they've been used too much and maybe they need to sit out for a little while, or if they need to be repackaged into something else. Should be a lot of fun. I'm going to have 10 pictures for AEW, 10 for TNA, 10 for WWE, and 10 for NXT.
Whoa, oh boy.
40
Wow.
people, 40 pictures total. Some will be tag teams, some will be women.
Yes.
You just never know what's going to pop up. But everybody's going to give their thoughts on that. It should be fun. If I'm being 100% transparent, I saw a Cultaholic do this about a week or so ago. Thought it was fun. They went through the entire WWE roster.
Oh God.
Didn't want to copy them verbatim, so that's why I mixed it up and grabbed some from each roster.
Fair enough. Speaking of pop up. Hi Jeff. What's up?
Move me under him. Johnny Swinger's greater than Joe Hendry. What the shit?
Damn right. Damn right.
I go away for 2 hours and oh Lord. Oh.
Yeah, he
Oh.
said that. I'm like, what the
Damn
fuck?
right. And then,
Oh.
of course, make sure
No.
you guys tune in for our watch-along coverage kicking off at 4 o'clock p.m.
Yes.
Pacific,
Oh my
7
goodness.
o'clock Eastern for No Surrender, and then our Elimination Chamber coverage tomorrow,
Yes.
9 a.m. Pacific, noon Eastern.
Yes.
Yes, we realize we're not doing it live, but some of us live in homes where people sleep actually during regular hours of the evening.
Yes.
And, you know, aren't crazy men staying up watching New Japan shows all hours of
Hey.
the night, or just have a hard time sleeping anyways. So we're making accommodations for the people that actually reside in houses, trying to be fair to them.
All right.
At least
So
I'm
let's
off
make sure-
tomorrow.
So let's make sure we keep those chat rooms spoiler free once we go on the air. Please and thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Defender will have the band
you.
hammer out. It'll be Jesus. Defender will have the band hammer out.
There you go. You've been warned. So says the man whose name is not on the marquee because I don't have it. You need to get that to me.
I will get that to you tonight during the watch long. It'll be a thing.
I appreciate you, JJ. Again, folks, we'll be going here onto the Jimmy Universe Media about 30 minutes or so, further hyping up and discussing this show and what's to go down tonight at TNA No Surrender in the Big Easy, and nothing will come easy, I assure you. Again, let's get the Renegade Rebellion, hashtag Renegades Rebellion. You all know what to do. You all saw the link earlier. We're definitely going to further promote this too. Let's get Kim Tatilla and Jeff motherfucking Meacham to TNA Rebellion so they can experience new era TNA together, where JJ may finally fucking believe in Joe Hendry. Damn it! I will not
Let's
stop
not
until he
get that
believes.
carried away. Let's not get that carried away. But I do
But you
want to
need
send a
to.
special shout out to Walter for making the first donation. Thank you so much, sir.
I appreciate you, Walter. And again,
We
Mr.
won't
Reliable,
say how
as
much
ever.
it is.
Yeah.
That's irrelevant, but any amount counts. Any
That's
amount
all that
goes
matters.
towards it. So
That's
thank
it.
you to
That's
Walter for
fair.
the first donation.
Yeah.
Although the sooner we get the money, the quicker we can book the flight. Just throwing that shit out there, y'all.
This is accurate.
Yeah, about to say airfare is a thing.
Shit's expensive as it gets closer.
Yeah, right. Well, again, Chris, appreciate you. Jay, appreciate you. See you shortly. Jeff, appreciate you. Appreciate all of you for always tuning in. You know how to be a part of the fun. Go fill out the form, be part of the Predictions League. Love to have you on the panel if you wish to share your voice and your passion too. It's always a pleasure. If you want to engage and find me, simply put, follow me on the Twitter and on YouTube at Foster1916 for all things wrestling. Shout out, of course, the entire EW family on the Twitter and our social media platforms. Again, I keep you all up with prediction leagues, forums, and hype on a weekly basis, and I'll allow you to give your own simple assessments too on my simple YouTube channel under the community tab. If you haven't already, go check out the entire HW View playlist. We just did our 50th episode. It was a lot of fun, especially having Cindy back on the air. We talked everything from Stardom and the departure of Rousey to other things happening all across the wrestling industry. It was a very fun conversation. And Eric didn't piss me off that much either, too, for a change. What a shock. And again, sleep predicting, we're not letting up anytime soon. March is going to kill me. Again, the next time for TNA, we have Sacrifice. But again, WWE, we literally have nothing staying in front of us now but the big one. As next time that week, I guarantee there'll probably be more than one panel. There might be a maximum one, knowing my mad self, because we're going to talk about WrestleMania as well as NXT Stand and Deliver on separate platforms. And of course, the next time we are doing sleep predicting in general, as Chris alluded to, will be AEW Revolution, where it's showtime for the last time with Sting. And we have officially announced, Tony Khan style, their first Ring of Honor payment for the year, presented by Honor Club, which I appreciate. Ring of Honor, Supercard of Honor. So stay tuned for all the stupid on that. Just follow hashtag stupid or me on the social media platforms. Again, follow my friend Mary Jade across the pond. Continues her wrestling ventures. Continuing to prove that Jade's worth more than gold. Appreciate you, pal. Hope things are going well. Let's get Dattila to 1,000 so that way she can become more of an NXT weekly influence in your lives when it comes to wrestling time. So become a subscriber today at Raiders of Wrestling on YouTube. Let's get her to 1,000. She is just literally less than 15 away, I think, last time I heard.
She is now 13 away. She is that close.
Right.
So I don't know how many people are watching right now, but if you are not subscribed to Rangers on Wrestling, as soon as we go off the air, go to her channel, subscribe, hit that bell. She covers Raw, she covers Dynamite, she covers SmackDown, she covers pay-per-views, the whole nine. It's always fun to watch a female discuss professional wrestling because it's definitely a male-dominated world.
Yeah, and
so to see a female discuss it is a little bit of a breath of fresh air. So go subscribe, and hey, if you're a Power Rangers fan, she does that stuff too.
Yep. And it's always wrestling time when she discusses Raw, SmackDown, Dynamite, Collision, and other stuff as you talked about, including your NXT too. And again, as he talked about, in this male-dominated industry, everybody, though, is welcome. And here, where we really are truly multi-dynamic, at the Multiverse of Media, we thank all of you because we love this. We live for this. Our passion, our content creativity is not the anytime soon. We thrive off this. And I continue to do all this madness, for I am nothing more but a simple man and a lifelong fan of, what's the word? Oh, yeah. Professional wrestling! Damn it! As I only wish, continue to encourage you that there are no winners, there are no losers, there are no betters. Just fans with opinions for this passion we all share. So at the end of the day, folks, support one another, respect each other, protect your mentality too. Seriously, get off your fucking phones. Treasure your families and just enjoy life and enjoy professional wrestling. It's truly as simple as that. With that being said, thank you so much once again for tuning into another edition of City Predicting. Please like, subscribe, comment, and tell a friend. Hit the bell as video goes live on demand on either of these YouTube channels, me and JJ's. Again, our user content, creativity, and passion is not letting up anytime soon. Hit the subscribe button. Help us keep growing our communities because, again, you all make it possible. And, again, it truly is male-dominated, but it definitely is not, or not should just be male-focused. I appreciate everybody I've come to know here from the other side, including Chanel, Natalie, Datsula, Dory, Lou, Cece, and I do hope we get another women's WrestleMania panel, too. But that being said, we'll see you all shortly on the other side.
Working on it.
There you go. On the Japanese Multiverse of Media for our coverage of TNA No Surrender. So shortly, you get a break. But until next time, as far as City Predicting goes, I won't see you all for that platform. Till next week, AW Revolution, you never know who might be on the panel. These folks, other folks, none of these folks, I guarantee you I'll be moderated because that's what I do. But until then, bid y'all find that do. So until our coverage of TNA No Surrender, or the next time you choose to engage with us in any way here at the Multiverse of Media too, appreciate all of you. Make a positive impact in life and have a good night. Guys, let's get ready for TNA No Surrender. In Ali we trust,
TNA,
but in Ali will we bless.
TNA.
Yes, let me hear it. I love it. I love it.
TNA.
That's what it's all about. That's the only thing that matters tonight. I don't care what anyone says. And you all can, of course, follow it too. Again, art coverage, but also watch the show. Ultimate Insiders, TNA Plus, Triller TV. It's going to be a hell of a night. Professional wrestling delight. Damn it, in the Big Easy. I can't wait. Goodbye, everybody.